Okay, so we are group 36 and then we are presenting the clock program. So we first do a demonstration for you guys to know how it works. So let's start. So as you can see here, we execute the program and then you can see that it is 2:37. And then you can see from our desktop over here that it's actually the same time, which is 2:37. So now our code is working. Let's dive into our program. So now you can see that in the section.data, what we did here was that we declared the variables, the time string variable in this format, and then we calculated the length of the string. Let's move on to the section.bss. So in the section.bss, what we did was that we declared a space or we reserved the memory space for all these variables you see over here, which will be used later in our main code. So let's come to the section.test. So in the section.test, what we first did was that we called the syscall number, which is in charge for time. And then later, we load the number of seconds since epoch, which is the 1970. Then we save that seconds into this racks. Then we save the number of seconds in a day into this RBS register, which we will later divide this variable over here, the seconds since epoch, by that number. Then we get a quotient value, which represents the day, and then we store the remainder into the RDS variable. So after that, we will further store the number of seconds into this variable, into this register called the RBS register. Then we later divide the remainder by this 3600, which is the seconds here. And then the quotient becomes the hours, which is stored in the hour variable over here. And then the remainder is stored in the RDS variable, which will later be stored or moved into the RAS register. And then we store the number of seconds in a minute, which is the 60 seconds, into this RBS register. And then we divide the remainder by this 60 seconds. Then the quotient becomes the minutes, which we store into the minutes variable. And then the remainder becomes the seconds, which is stored as the seconds of the time in the seconds variable. Then we move on to this section of code where we deal with the conversion of all these things here into ASCII. So what this thing does is that it converts all we've done here into a human readable format, so it can be used or understood by our viewers. So that's all you see here. Then later we come to the exit program where you can exit your program. We are done.